For every man watching this, there's a version of you out there that looks sharper, moves better, and just feels unstoppable. And I can tell you right now, it's not when you're 20 pounds heavier. It's gonna be when you're more lean and aesthetic. So today, I'm gonna break down the 3 reasons why being lean isn't just a fitness goal and why it's actually a lifestyle advantage. So the first reason why lean is law is simply because it makes you inevitably go through an identity shift. Guys, this is gonna be one of the more obvious advantages, but I can confidently say that once I actually got lean and start to prioritize a lower body fat percentage and stop trying to put on as much size as possible, I, number 1, got more attractive. Number 2, I gained a lot of confidence. And number 3, I was just a lot more magnetic to both, women and men in the right way, right? So for example, guys, the first thing that I noticed was my face was less bloated. I was retaining a lot less water than I normally would when I was bulking. I would honestly say that it bumped me up on the attractiveness scale by at least 3 to 4 points, right? I'm gonna throw up some pictures of when I was, bulking and trying to get as big as possible versus now. Guys, as you can see, my face completely changed, right? The shape of it changed. I had a lot less acne. And like I said earlier, I had a lot less water retention. So of course, yeah, I look a lot more attractive. So of course that came with more choosing signals from women in public. More women started to swipe up in my DMs, show me more love on dating apps, and the whole 9, right? But the one thing I can confidently say, guys, is that I literally went from being the quote unquote bodybuilder and having that bodybuilder aesthetic to literally being a model and having a model aesthetic. I'm gonna explain. So everywhere I would go, everyone would ask me, when am I gonna compete in a bodybuilding contest, right? When am I gonna compete in a bodybuilding show? And then it went from that to, oh, who do you model for? You should start modeling. If you start modeling, you'll get some pretty good gigs. Literally went through that whole entire identity shift by just becoming lean and aesthetic. And guys, once you get lean, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna start to look smacks. You're gonna start to prioritize your looks because again, you're gonna get all this female attraction. So of course you're gonna pay attention to your looks more. When you're bodybuilding, your sole purpose is to just get as big as possible. So you're sacrificing your looks in the process. You're getting bloated in the face. You're getting the acne. You're getting the beer gut a little bit, right? You're doing everything in your power to just get big. So you're not really focusing on your looks. I'll be honest with you, you're not focusing on your looks at all. So yeah, man, that's the juxtaposition between the two. When you're lean and aesthetic, you're essentially looks maxing and life maxing. And then when you're trying to be as big as possible, you're just gym maxing. So at the end of the day, you have to pick which type of boat you want to be in. So yeah, obviously, once you're 10 to 12% body fat, you're lean and aesthetic, you're gonna fit into the female gaze. Whereas when you're 16, 17 to 20% body fat, you're gonna fit into the male gaze. That's why you'll get those guys that tell you, hey man, don't expect to get in the gym and get big and get girls. You're only gonna attract guys. Well, of course, when you're huge, of course you're gonna attract more guys. You're gonna be, intimidating to women. Women are not gonna find you attractive. It's gonna be more guys giving you compliments. It's gonna be more guys swiping up in your DMs every week telling you how big you are, telling you that hitting 405 on bench is impressive, which it is, but what's more impressive and what you would rather have? I'd rather be able to go outside, go to the beach, take my shirt off, have abs, have all the chicks staring at me, chicks swiping up in my DMs, chicks showing me love on Instagram and, dating apps. I'd rather have that and feel more confident about myself than, be big as hell, only get complimented from guys, have a face full of acne, have a bloated ass face and a big ass gut. And it's funny too, because you'll still get those guys that tell you, oh, if you're under 200 pounds, you're victim weight. And quite frankly, I used to be one of those guys. And here's the truth, guys. There's dudes out there that are 5'7" and lean and aesthetic that box twice a week that will knock your big ass out if you try them, right? So they're like $160, 170, right? Victim weight, but they'll still beat your ass. So the only person that's victim weight is really you. Because think about it, and when you're 200 pounds, you're not prioritizing your cardio, you're not going in the gym boxing, you're not doing any type of combat sport. Even if you try to do a combat sport, you would have to get leaner. You would have to do a lot more cardio. You'd have to be more mobile. And obviously, when you're big as hell, you're 200 plus pounds, you're not gonna be as mobile as possible. You're gonna be sluggish and lethargic. So yeah, I'd rather look good and be able to defend myself than just be big for nothing and just have all that muscle for show. Second point, Your life doesn't revolve around the gym. Now, here's the thing, guys. All you have to do is just get lean one time in your life. Once you get lean that first time, you're gonna understand it's a lot easier to maintain that lifestyle than it is to try to get big, right? Here's the thing. So whenever you're lean, your metabolism is at an all-time high. So for example, if I'm going out with like a couple friends or whatever, I'm going to, a bar or something, I can have a couple of drinks and I can have some burgers and fries and still be good. Now, when you're big, it's a totally different reality. When you eat that cheeseburger, when you drink those beers, you're gonna get big, bro. Your metabolism is completely screwed at that size. So yeah, of course, you're gonna add on a couple more pounds. But when you're shredded and lean, right, a healthy size, a healthy body fat percentage, like 10 to 12, you're gonna shred that off fast. Matter of fact, when you're sleeping, that can come off, right? All you have to do is literally sleep. You don't even have to work out because your body is constantly burning calories and burning fat at a rapid rate when you're lean. Whereas when you're big, bro, your body, it's lagging. Your metabolism is lagging at that size. So yeah, man, just get lean one time and you'll understand what I mean. It's funny because for some reason, people think I don't have cheat meals like everybody else. I do have cheat meals. So whenever my friends see me eat out, they'll crack jokes here and there like, oh, I thought you were gonna eat chicken and rice. I didn't know you were gonna eat a burger. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna enjoy that burger because I earned it, right? I earned this physique, so yeah, I could have the burger. My life doesn't revolve around, being as strict as possible with my nutrition and my fitness anymore. Yeah, I'm still pretty strict by, a normal person's standards, but I have a lot more freedom to do whatever I want in the nutrition department. If I wanted to, I could literally skip the gym for like 2 weeks and still be good. I'll still be lean. Now, obviously, I don't do those type of things, but all I'm saying is, if I wanted to, I could. If I go on vacation and for some reason the hotel doesn't have a gym and they serve like crappy food, I'll be good. If I go on a cruise, same thing. If I go on a cruise for like 2 weeks, I'll be fine. But the normal person can't. The average dude trying to bulk cannot do that. Going back to the topic, my life doesn't revolve around the gym anymore. Nowadays, I'm in the gym no more than 45 minutes to an hour. Back in the day when I was getting those PRs, I was powerlifting, doing, crazy bodybuilding splits and everything like that, I was in the gym for an hour and a half to 2 hours, just fucking around all day. So yeah, guys, essentially I'm doing less and getting more. And you have to look at the trade-offs. They're not that beneficial. So whenever I'm that big, I'm just stronger and quote unquote bigger. But when I'm lean, I'm still kind of around the same strength. I didn't lose that much strength. I can still bench 120s on dumbbells. I can still bench 315 for a couple reps. So the strength didn't fall off that bad. And on top of that, when you get leaner, you technically look a little bit bigger because your muscle is more exposed, right? So you have more muscular definition, more striations, you're more vascular, and you just look more aesthetically pleasing. So it's kind of funny because I'm quote unquote smaller now, but I lift more than guys that are 100 pounds heavier than me. So yeah, man, this lifestyle is a lot more sustainable in the long run. I'm not stuffing my face to hit my calorie goals and macro goals for the day. I'm not lifting a crazy amount of weight each and every single time that I'm stepping into the gym. And I just feel better overall. And honestly, guys, it's a lot healthier to live this way anyways. When you're stuffing your face constantly each and every single day just to hit your calorie goals, you're just fucking up your gut and your metabolism. That brings me to the last point. You just feel better every day. Guys, when you're carrying all that weight every single day, you're gonna feel lethargic. You're gonna feel tired. You're just gonna feel sluggish, right? Why would you wanna do that to yourself? Your overall quality of life just improves when you're at a lower body fat percentage and you're leaner. Now, obviously too, your testosterone is higher, so you sleep better. You get better pumps in the gym. You have more energy. You think clearer. You have less brain fog. And your body just moves the way it's supposed to. I remember I was on this island one time and I was walking around the resort and I was gassed just by doing that. And I was starting to think to myself like, bro, I go to the gym every day. So like, why am I tired? Why am I gassed? Everybody else is, walking around perfectly fine. I'm over here huffing and puffing. At that point, I knew I needed to make a change, bro, because I was taking it too far. I was the heaviest I ever been in my whole entire life. So yeah, man, that whole aesthetic, presence, and everything else that I was chasing, trying to be big, I actually found that while being lean. So there was no real reason to compromise my body, my health, and everything else, my well-being, just to become bigger. Last reason why lean is law is simply because, guys, whenever you're lean, you're a lot more disciplined. Let me explain. So when you're on the bigger side and you're just chasing the macros, you're fitting anything into your diet. You know, you're getting all the prepackaged meals, you're getting the frozen meals in, you're drinking all these protein shakes and all these supplements. And that takes a lot less discipline than cooking your meals. When you have to cook your meals, you have to clean up after yourself and do all these things, it makes you more disciplined in the process. I can tell you guys right now, like whenever I was chasing the size, I remember always being pressed for time because majority of my day would be taken up by the gym. So whenever I came home, I wouldn't want to cook. I was already tired and everything. I was lethargic, so I wouldn't want to cook. I would just warm up some frozen meal in the microwave. Now that I have a lot more time because it's not being taken up by the gym and I have a lot more energy, I can go home and cook my meals. I can cook my breakfast, lunch, and dinner perfectly fine. And over time, I built up enough discipline to do that. And also too, I get a lot more work done because again, I have more energy and I have more time throughout the day. So I'm doing my client programs, you know, I'm making content, I'm doing my client fulfillment, and everything is just flowing a lot better because of that. Another reason why it contributes to your discipline is because you're not gonna skip your cardio. Guys, whenever I was chasing the size, I used to skip cardio all the time because I thought it would make me smaller. So now I'm more locked in, I'm more disciplined. I'm hitting my cardio 2 to 3 times a week without fail because I know I have to do that to stay lean and have this physique all year round. So yeah, man, in the long run, I would say this physique is a lot more sustainable and attainable because you can have this physique year round. Because a lot of people think that you have to put in a crazy amount of effort to stay lean year round. No, like I said earlier, guys, you have to just get lean one time. Once you get lean that very first time, you're gonna understand that it's not that hard to maintain. It takes an insane amount of discipline to get there in the first place. So you think you're just gonna lose that discipline once you get lean? No, it's gonna be a lot easier to get there. You're not gonna crave the BS foods anymore. You're not gonna crave fast food anymore. You know, you're gonna start to enjoy the food that you cook a lot better than, you know, outside food. People will see me eating, you know, red meat, potatoes, and berries and think, oh, how does he eat that every day? Guys, that food actually tastes good. But a lot of you guys don't know that because, you know, you guys are eating foods with a bunch of MSG and a bunch of all these addictive chemicals in it. So you're solely attached to that food and you're so deeply ingrained into that type of diet. So you don't really know how good whole food actually tastes. So yeah, guys, those are the 3 reasons why lean is law. And like I said, all you have to do is just get here one time in your life and you will understand. But all right, guys, that was it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. And lastly, guys, if you're still struggling to get that lean and aesthetic physique, I work with guys one-on-one to achieve just that. Just click the link in the description, book a call, and I'm gonna see if you're qualified to work with me. But until next time, guys, I'm out.